Hey guys, this is Travis from SWAT Batting Cages, and today I'm going to show a demo of our RVP system, which this system is our video analysis tool that we use during all of our hitting lessons here at SWAT Batting Cages. Now, it's especially useful for not only the older players, but for the younger players as well, because it gives visual representations of where we need them to be at particular times during their swings. And it really does work in the effect that it'll cut our learning curve in half, because not only as we as instructors are trying to explain something to the kids or to the students, but it makes it a lot more easier for the kids to understand on a quicker basis, just because they can visually see what we want them to do, and not just us trying to explain them and lead them up the creek without a paddle, so to say. So, to give a quick background of the RVP system, it's considered by ESPN one of the top 5 tools in all of softball, and it's also the only training system up to this point that's licensed by both the Professional Fast Pitch League and by Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Players Association. Now, this is important because it actually allows us to use player models from both softball and baseball and on the RVP system in order to show them compared to each other and to the student also. And this gives the student a great idea of where we need to be at each part during the swing. And there's also lots of other teams that use the RVP system itself. Just to give you a few examples, the Boston Red Sox, the Atlanta Braves, Kansas City Royals, the U.S. Olympic softball team, Arizona State softball, Arizona softball, the University of Washington. So there's a lot of different teams that use this, and like I said earlier, it really is a great tool in the essence that it literally cuts our learning curve in half. But now I'm going to go ahead and bring up a couple of things on here that are good indicators of what the system's really like. Now, from this point on, we have a camera that's set up in the cage to where we can film both left-handers and right-handers, and it'll allow us to totally break down the swing, different frames. I'll be on the left side here, and as we can tell, he's in his stance right now. Now, this is off screen, but basically I've got several buttons to work with that gives me the power to put him in different positions of his swing. So if I want him in stance, I'll just leave it here. If I want to get to his load, I'll click to get to his load. And then we go to toe touch, to heel plant, to our connect, to our bat lag, to our contact, to our extension, and then our follow through. We can also simply just play the swing clip over and over and over. And luckily the camera itself, it's running on I think about 1 10,000ths of a frame rate. So our frame rate is really slowed down, and it's really crystal clear, or about as crystal clear as we can get for us to be able to see what we need to see during the swing. And also the great thing about this is it allows us to be able to draw different angles if we need to get an idea of what we want our hitter to look like. So for instance, just like that. We could actually draw path of a bat also. Like so, and that gives us an idea of where our swing's really at. Okay, now to show a couple other things that we can do. If we need to, we can flip the hitter right here, and usually we won't do that with our lessons themselves. This is more or less for showing different pros. For instance, on the right hand side, I'll bring up Ichiro, and we can actually flip him where he appears to be right-handed. So we get an idea of what he's doing during a swing if he was right-handed. Now, we got all kinds of players we can bring up. We got Albert Pujols and Alex Rodriguez, just to name a couple. And this right here is a good example of what we're able to do with the RVP system. We can put it as such as we can sync in both swings together and be able to watch them in slow motion and be able to kind of see where each swing is at compared to each other. We could break it down to where we do all the different parts of the swing together, and from here we can really show the student where we want them to be as compared to where they are currently. Okay, I've backed it up now to where we got two swings of one of our baseball players, our guinea pig for this video. And right now this is kind of a before and after type swing. This was done in just about 5 to 10 minutes time. As you can tell on the right hand side, there's a wood block happens to be there, and that's what we used between both of these videos to kind of bridge the gap between showing him what he was doing wrong. Now, what this really shows is that without the video system, us as instructors, we probably wouldn't pick this up, simply because we're doing most of our coaching from the front, because naturally we're throwing front toss. Now, just to show what he was doing here is on our left side, we'll really notice once we put him into his load is that he's really getting out over that foot. You can tell his knee straight down here, when really we don't want to do that. We want to stay on the inside of that foot. That allows us to keep max amount of force, because if we do that, it ends up looking like this if we just forward it a few frames to where we have to kind of sway back into it before we start our swing. On the other side, we were able to fix it pretty quickly. So when we got to his load, he wasn't nearly as bad over that foot. Now we're still working a little bit on him not being his bowed leg there, but we were able to make a slight improvement right there on the fly, just simply because he got to see it. Naturally, he doesn't have to take as long to start his swing, and he's a lot more efficient to the ball. So that really shows that the system analysis, this video analysis, really works in the sense that it gives our students an idea of exactly what their bodies are doing, because they get to visually see it for themselves. So as we can really tell, obviously, if you're seeing this video, you've been on our YouTube channel. And with the RVP system, what it allows us to do is, just like you're hearing now, it allows us to do lesson segments. So we can take each student and literally do a full-on lesson segment or full-on breakdown of their lesson that they had. Anything that we need to go back over that either we might have missed or we need to elaborate on, we're able to do it here, and in turn the student can get on YouTube and be able to get an idea of exactly what we're saying, because we can really use a lot more examples and everything. Also, the instruction, we give the players and the parents the option of if they want it to be private or public. We got ones that do both, or we got some that do the private, we got some that do the public, so there's nothing wrong with either one. This also allows us to not only break down the swing just pitch by pitch, but we could also just take video just to show several swings in a row. So this is also something that we can be able to transfer to a DVD. So anybody looking at making a video to send off to colleges, this would really be a good idea to use also. As RVP system, obviously, we can really break down the swing and just show, 5 to 10 swings that would enable a coach to be able to really get an idea of what the athlete can do. So in closing, that's pretty much the whole system that I can show you from this part. There's a lot more to it once you see it in person, but it really is a great tool to use, and hopefully you'll get a chance to use it sometime.